Hi, Mitchell Levy, global credibility expert, and thank you so much for joining me. You know, there was a really interesting survey that was created by Reuters and Oxford University, and Jeff Crilly from Real News PR set me up on a radio tour. So I'm in the middle of 10 radio stations that I'm doing the tour from, and I had a teeny break in time. I thought I'd come on and share some of the results and my feelings as I'm thinking through the numbers and what does it mean. So if you Googled the particular name of the survey and focused on it, and I'll put it in a link as well, you would see that there's a significant distrust of the news media, and that has increased significantly this year. Now, the number that was really fascinating to me is that Finland has the highest level of acceptance. So Finland, 69% of the country of those surveyed, and this was a survey done of 46 different countries. Finland has 69% trust the media. The US for the second year in a row was the lowest at only 26%. So why is that? Misinformation fears, repetitiveness of content. What was quoted in the study was COVID and the Ukraine crisis. The 29% of people avoid the news because they just feel that it can't be trusted. So there's fatigue in news consumption. So what's interesting is as I was responding, as I'm getting feedback from people, as I'm thinking about this in a further area, and once again, I've been on 8 stations so far, and so it's great to see different people's opinions and focuses and thoughts on the questions they have and where they take me. And the question I was thinking about is I was thinking about journalism. So I Googled journalism, journalistic ethics, and Wikipedia talks about the codes of journalism and the importance of of having factual truth. And it got me thinking about Walter Cronkite. During the 60s and 70s, he was the CBS person, and being there with Walter was like being on at his side, and you were of the impression that that was it, that his truth was the truth because of his fairness and his focus. And he said something interesting. So I started reading some quotes from Walter, and what it said was, to some extent, and we're going to use the word fake news, is you can't necessarily blame the people who are creating fake news. You can't necessarily blame the outlets for distributing fake news. You have to blame the consumers who are accepting it as is. So I'm going to say, let's focus on discernment. Let's focus on processing information. Let's focus on, we just don't read a subject, on Twitter. We don't just read the subject and pass it along. We actually read the article itself. If it has information that we actually truly believe in and don't believe in, we actually research it a little bit further to see whether or not what they're saying, whether or not there are facts, whether it's true or not. We live in this sensationalism world. And so the journalists are going out of their way to sensationalize, to get people to get excited about wanting to come and focus on their news outlet. And so it makes me wonder, are the metrics we're using to measure still the right metrics? Should we be measuring based on numbers of people who attend, or should we be measuring based on engagement of those people who attend? And so what I also say is discernment is probably the word I'd like you to think most about. It's making sure that you discern that the information is right, making sure that you focus on, if you're sharing stuff along, that you're sharing the right information. In terms of where we're consuming data these days, the smartphone is now the winner in terms of all the different places where we're consuming data. We still get stuff from social media, and many people do. it was interesting when I started talking to people about this, that some of my friends who I actually truly like, trust, respect, they're actually using Twitter because of the ability of Twitter to share the feed on the street. What was interesting about the survey is TikTok moved its way up in terms of outlets where people are looking at it as a news media, and podcast continues to grow in terms of podcasts that are out there. So I think what I'm going to say is we're sitting at a point in time where everyone is a journalist, right? You've got a camera and a microphone. You got one of these, you're a journalist. And if you're a journalist and you're reporting, the question is, are you reporting at least with authenticity, with integrity? Are you reporting in a credible way? So are you reporting things which are really true and valid for you? Now, if you look at the journalistic code of ethics, authenticity um, isn't necessarily there because you want to give in the past, the true facts um, in a very objective way, which means that you're not authentically sharing your opinions and your thoughts, right? So what's the right answer in today's citizen journalism world? Right. And I'm not going to give you an answer. Can't tell you which is the right way to go. Do we go back to the way things were in the Walter Cronkite days? Or do we go forward where we actually do want to hear the thoughts and the opinions of those people that we're listening to, that we're consuming content from? And I think as long as, actually we'll give somewhat of an opinion, as long as people are clear of what's fact versus what's opinion, and as long as you as a consumer take the time to be discerning, take the time to actually check the facts, to do the research, you have access to the best content in the world. And I believe it's in your best interest, before you hit the share button, before you hit the like button, to actually double check, triple check, focus on the content that you're sharing, to make sure it is something that is valuable for you, that you believe in it, and B, that it really represents the truth, that it really represents something that's credible. And I'll put in the notes specifically the URLs that are appropriate, but you could always Google the Reuters state of digital news, put that into Google and you'll come up. It's a 164-page report. There are articles written on it. There's podcasts on it. So you can consume what you want to consume in a number of different ways. And once again, I just want to say thank you to Jeff Crilly from Real News PR for putting me on a 10-city radio tour. And it's been fun jumping from, by the way, from this location. And it's been fun jumping from city to city and hearing the different thoughts and opinions. Sometimes it's a couple of minutes, sometimes it's longer, of where people are and what does that mean for us. And at the end of the day, my particular concern, my particular thought, my particular interest in you, what it means to us is for all of us to be more discerning, not just to put things into an ism or an ist, not just to put things into a label, but rather to consume it, understand it, and then make the decision of whether or not we want to share it. Thanks so much for paying attention. Have yourself a great day. Thanks. Bye now.